Professor Gould again here. In this section, we are going to talk about the cytoplasm. What the heck is that? And why in the world does the part of the word plasm come up so often? Like there's cytoplasm, there's a plasma membrane. Plasm means changeable. It's the same root as plastic, and plastic actually means changeable. And plastic was called plastic because you can change it into any shape you want. So when in biology we talk about something being plastic, we say that it can be changed. So the cytoplasm is the inside of the cell, which can change in response to the needs of the cell. Kind of cool, right? The cytoplasm part, that means cell. Okay, so the cytoplasm is everything in the cell except the plasma membrane and the nucleus. Okay, so it's all the organelles, all the inclusions, all the fluid, everything inside the plasma membrane except for the nucleus, right? Why isn't the nucleus considered part of the cytoplasm? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I should probably know that, but I don't. Anyway, so that's what the cytoplasm is. Inside the cytoplasm, there is what we call an intracellular fluid, intra meaning within, or we call it the cytosol. And this is basically just water with things dissolved in it. It's kind of a thick fluid. It's got ions, nutrients, proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, all kinds of things that the cell needs are part of that cytosol. These are going to be small molecules, not things as big as ribosomes. Okay. Now, inclusions are structures that are bigger than something that can just be dissolved in the cytosol. So ribosomes are going to be an inclusion. Other things like pigments, melanin is a pigment, and that is an inclusion that builds up as part of the cytoplasm. Its job is to protect the DNA in the nucleus from damage by the sun's rays. So that is why when you are out in the sun, your skin gets darker because it produces more melanin, actually in response to DNA damage in the skin cells. So that's why they say there's no such thing as a safe tan. Sorry about that. Anyway, there's also going to be some larger protein structures. We're going to talk about the cytoskeleton at the end of this lecture. And then there are going to be some other larger molecules that can store like energy for the long term. Glycogen is a kind of sugar that can be a fairly long-term storage of sugars for the cell. So those things that are bigger than these small molecules, these are going to be the inclusions. Now, the other part of the cytoplasm are the organelles. So remember we talked about these are structures that have a membrane, which is just like the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. It's a fatty layer. We call it a phospholipid bilayer. So these are the mitochondria, the Golgi apparatus, the smooth and rough endoplasmic reticulum, the lysosomes, the peroxisomes, all of those things. Each of these things is going to have its own function, and so they're all going to have slightly different shapes. Now, sometimes people get cytoplasm and cytosol mixed up. The cytosol is part of the cytoplasm, okay? So the cytoplasm is everything, all the cytosol, the inclusions, and the organelles. The cytosol, mostly just fluid with really, really tiny things dissolved in it. If we go back to, hang on, this diagram of the cell here, there is an arrow here that it used to say cytoplasm. I have it indicating cytosol because it's pointing to what looks like an empty space. So it's pointing to the fluid inside the cell, not all of this stuff. All of this is the cytoplasm. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, in the next section, we are going to talk about the nucleus of the cell.